And now, 20 minutes of ASMR poetry reading to fall asleep to. Who Has Seen the Wind by Christina Rossetti. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me, from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller, like an India rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he's a coward you can see. I'd think shame to stick to Nursey, as that shadow sticks to me. One morning very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant, sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Bed in Summer by Robert Louis Stevenson. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer quite the other way. I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you, when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? A Jellyfish by Marianne Moore. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, an amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Your arm approaches, and it opens and it closes. You have meant to catch it, and it shrivels. You abandon your intent. It opens, and it closes, and you reach for it. The blue surrounding it grows cloudy, and it floats away from you. Good Night by Laurence Dunbar. The lark is silent in his nest, the breeze sighing in its flight. Sleep, love, and peaceful be thy rest. Good night, my love. Good night, good night. Sweet dreams attend thee in thy sleep, to soothe thy rest till morning's light, and angels round thee vigil keep. Good night, my love. Good night, good night. Sleep well, my love, on night's dark breast, and ease thy soul with slumber bright. Be joy but thine, and I am blessed. Good night, my love. Good night, good night. When the Green Lies Over the Earth by Angelina Weld Grimké. When the green lies over the earth, my dear, a mantle of witching grace, when the smile and the tear of the young child year dimple across its face, and then flee when the wind all day is sweet, with the breath of growing things, when the wooing bird lights on restless feet, and chirrups and trills and sings to his lady love in the green above. Then, oh, my dear, when the youth's in the year, yours is the face that I long to have near. yours is the face, my dear. But the green is hiding your curls, my dear, your curls so shining and sweet, and the gold-hearted daisies this many a year have bloomed and bloomed at your feet, and the little birds just above your head, with their voices hushed, my dear, for you have sung and have prayed and have pled this many, many a year. And the blossoms fall on the garden wall and drift like snow on the green below, but the sharp thorn grows on the budding rose, and my heart no more leaps at the sunset glow. For oh, my dear, when the youth's in the year, yours is the face that I long to have near. Yours is the face, my dear. Mistress' Quiet Eyes by James Stephens. While I sit beside the window, I can hear the pigeons coo, that the air is warm and blue, and how well the young bird flew. Then I fold my arms and scold the heart that thought the pigeons knew. While I sit beside the window, I can watch the flowers grow, till the seeds are ripe and blow to the fruitful earth below. Then I shut my eyes and tell my heart, the flowers cannot know. While I sit beside the window, I am growing old and drear. Does it matter what I hear, what I see, or what I fear? I can fold my hands and hush my heart that is straining to a tear. The earth is gay with leaf and flower, the fruit is ripe upon the tree. The pigeons coo in the swinging bower, but I sit wearily, watching a beggar woman nurse a baby on her knee. Summer Dreams by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. When the summer sun is shining and the green things push and grow, oft my heart runs over measure with its flowing fount of pleasure. As I feel the sea winds blow, ah, then life is good, I know. And I think of sweet birds building, and of children fair and free, and of glowing sun-kissed meadows, and of tender twilight shadows, and of boats upon the sea. Oh, then life seems good to me. Then unbidden and unwanted come the darker, sadder sights. City shop and stifling alley, where misfortune's children rally, and the hut crime-breeding nights, and the dearth of God's delights. And I think of narrow prisons where unhappy songbirds dwell, and of cruel pens and cages where some captured wild thing rages, like a madman in his cell, in the zoo, the wild beast's hell. And I long to lift the burden of man's selfishness and sin, and to open wide earth's treasures of God's storehouse full of pleasures for my dumb and human kin, and to ask the whole world in. A Starry Night by Paul Laurence Dunbar. A cloud fell down from the heavens and broke on the mountain's brow. It scattered the dusky fragments all over the vale below. The moon and the stars were anxious to know what its fate might be, so they rushed to the azure opening, and all peered down to see. What Makes the Summer by Marietta Holley. It is not the lark's clear tone, cleaving the morning air with a soaring cry, nor the nightingale's dulcet melody all the balmy night. Not these alone make the sweet sounds of summer, but the drone of beetle and bee, the murmurous hum of the fly, and the chirp of the cricket hidden out of sight. These help to make the summer. Not roses redly blown, nor golden lilies lighting the dusky meads, nor proud imperial pansies, nor queen cups quaint and rare. Not these alone make the sweet sights of summer, but the countless forest leaves, the myriad wayside weeds, and slender grasses springing up everywhere. These help to make the summer. One heaven bends above, the lowliest head ofttimes has sweetest rest, or songbird in the pine and bee in the ivy low is the same love. It is all God's summer. Well pleased is he if we patiently do our best. So hum, little bee, and low green grasses grow. You help to make the summer. The Captive Lion by William Henry Davies. Thou that in fury with thy knotted tail hast made this iron floor thy beaten drum, that now in silence walk'st thy little space, like a sea captain, careless what may come. What power has brought thy majesty to this, who gave those eyes their dull and sleepy look, who took their lighting out, and from thy throat the thunder when the whole wide forest shook? It was that man who went again, alone, into thy forest dark. Lord, he was brave. That man a fly has killed, whose bones are left unburied till an earthquake digs his grave. Horoscope by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ere he was born, the stars of fate plotted to make him rich and great. When from the womb the babe was loosed, the gates of gifts behind him closed. Tiger and Elephant by James McIntyre. On Ganges' banks roams the tiger, and lion rules by the Niger. Hunter heard shrill cry of peacocks, in Indian jungles go in flocks. And he saw a tiger crouch and spring, to crush a bird with beauteous wing. But the tiger missed his aim, and he hung his head with shame. Then there came a mighty crush of elephants' rush through the brush. The tiger, cat-like, crouched on ground, and elephants rushed in with bound. In front was baby elephant, to crush its bones did tiger want. But mother saw fierce forest ranger, and she gave a cry of danger. Leader of herd he madly rushed, resolved the tiger should be crushed. But tiger strove to run away, willing to relinquish prey. But when he found that he must fight, on elephant's back he strove to light. But elephant struck him with his foot, and then with tusks he did him root. So now once more must praise be sung to beasts who nobly fight for young. And grateful feelings were now stirred towards the leader of the herd. Walking at Eve by John Frederick Freeman. Walking at eve I met a little child, running beside a tragic-featured dame, who checked his blitheness with a quick for shame, and seemed by sharp caprice froward and mild. Scarce heeding her, the sweet one ran, beguiled, by the lit street in his eyes to a flame. Only, at whiles, into his eyes there came bewilderment and grief with terror wild. So beauty dost thou run with tragic life, so with the curious world's caress enchanted, even of ill things thine ecstasy dost make. Yet at the touch of fear and vital strife, the splendors thy young innocency forsake, and with thy foster mother's woe thou art haunted. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there's some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. This Living Hand by John Keats. This living hand, now warm and capable of earnest grasping, would, if it were cold, and in the icy silence of the tomb, so haunt thy days and chill thy dreaming nights, that thou wouldst wish thine own heart dry of blood, so in my veins red life might stream again, and thou be conscious calmed. See, here it is. I hold it towards you. Children of Light by Robert Lowell. Our fathers wrung their beard from stocks and stones, and fenced their gardens with the red men's bones. Embarking from the Netherland of Holland, pilgrims unhouseled by Geneva's night, they planted here the serpent's seeds of light, and here the pivoting searchlights probed to shock the riotous glass houses built on rock, and candles gutter by an empty altar, and light is where the landless blood of Cain is burning, burning the unburied grain. The Call by John Frederick Freeman. Is it the wind that stirs the trees? Is it the trees that scratch the wall? Is it the wall that shakes and mutters? Is it a dumb ghost's call? The wind steals in and twirls the candle. The branches heave and brush the wall. But more than tree or wild wind mutters, this night of all. Open, a cry sounds, and I gasp. Open, and hands beat door and wall. Open, and each dark echo mutters. I rise, a shape and shadow tall. Open, across the room I falter, and near the door, crouched by the wall, thrice bolt the door as the voice mutters. Open, and frail strokes fall. Open, the lights out, and I shrink, quaking and blind against the wall. Open, no sound is, yet it mutters. Within me now this night of all. Was it the wind that stirred the trees? Was it the trees that scratched the wall? Was it the wall that shook and muttered, or love's last ghostly call? To the River by Edgar Allan Poe. Fair river, in thy bright clear flow of crystal wandering water, thou art an emblem of the glow of beauty, the unhidden heart, the playful maziness of art, in old Alberto's daughter. But when within thy wave she looks, which glistens then and trembles, why then the prettiest of brooks her worshipper resembles, for in his heart, as in thy stream, her image deeply lies, his heart which trembles at the beam of her soul-searching eyes. Hope by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.